Hey everyone, just wanted to do some breaking news on two title fights that just came out, and before I begin, I want to make an apology. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev was proven to not be happening of that, so that's my bad for reporting that. I saw it everywhere, so I thought it was. I wasn't the only one that made that mistake, but still happened. But anyways, the actual main event that will be headlining the 297 card is going to be, and I'm so happy for this fight, Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. I am so happy that Dricus is getting his title shot because he deserves it. He beat Robert Whittaker. He TKO'd him. That is not something that happens often, let alone him lose. But he beat him, and he was supposed to be fighting Israel Adesanya, and I was very upset how people are saying he was ducking the fight like that. No, he's not. He can't make that big of a turnaround. That's really bad to do now. And then there was this huge thing of Izzy's going to be getting the next title shot. And then Izzy's I'm not going to be fighting for a couple of years, which okay, I guess. And then there was the whole Hamzat thing where if he wins his debut against Paulo Costa, is he going to get the title shot? And then, Paulo pulls out, which, shocker. And then Kamaru Usman steps up, and it was made a title eliminator, and everyone was like, that is stupid. And then Hamzat scrapes by, barely gets the win, arguably a draw, and he's now ranked at number 9, so that really only left Dricus or Jared Cannonier, but, both of them kind of make sense, but Jared, I don't know. It wouldn't have been as interesting as this one, because this fight is so interesting, in my opinion, because at first, when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, Dricus would win. And then I'm like, well, that's what we said about Izzy versus Strickland. And Strickland is, I think we all didn't know it at the time, but he has very good defense. He's very good at making you kind of fight his style. Now, obviously, he got KO'd by Pereira, and then he lost a controversial decision to Cannonier. I thought he won the Cannonier fight, but it was a pretty close fight. But Dricus is very powerful He seems to have better cardio now that he got his nose surgery, so he can actually breathe properly. But he's never gone 5 rounds. Strickland has gone 5 rounds. Trying to think how many times he's gone. He has gone a full 5 rounds. I know technically the Abbas Magomedov fight was supposed to be 5 rounds, but it only went 1.5. But off the top of my head, Hermanson, Hall. Oh my goodness, who else? Cannonier, Imavov, and then Adesanya. So that's several times that he's gone that. And then really the only decision in the UFC for Dricus was against, I believe it was Brad Tavares. And that was a pretty close fight, and that made everyone worried. That's kind of why I think everyone picked Robert, and I did too. But he just there's such an unpredictability factor of that, but it's very hard to think about it, and I still need some more time to think about it, but I think Strickland wins that. Because other than the Pereira fight where he was kind of being an idiot with his striking, he is very good at not taking damage and getting hit. He's very good at that. And I think if du Plessis is going to win, he's going to finish him in the first, second, or third round. If it goes past, not even the third round, I think if it goes to the third round, I'd bet Strickland. And with that, I'm gonna be saying I'm picking Strickland by a unanimous decision. I just see it happening. I think it's a very fun for the fight second fight being announced, I don't know who's going to win, but
Sean
I will say
O'Malley
Strickland
versus
Marlon Vera 2, this time for the bantamweight title. Now, I love this fight, and I don't know if I've ever stated it, but Marlon Vera is probably in my top 3 favorite current fighters. I just love his personality. I love his style. Do I think Marlon deserves the title shot? No, but the other part that I have to give of it is, do you really want to give him to Merab? Merab is just not an entertaining fight for that. And, there's a chance O'Malley wins. I think, we didn't think he was going to beat Aljo, and then he KOs him. And let's not act like Merab's never lost. He's been KO'd by freaking, what's his name? He got KO'd by, Ricky Simone. He got KO'd by him. He lost 3 fights before going on this absolute tear he's on now. He beat Peter Yan. impressive, like, dominantly. There was no argument, while O'Malley struggled with that. And I just think that, honestly, but in my opinion, there's also Corey Sandhagen. I don't know where Corey Sandhagen is in his recovery, because what was it? Was it a bicep injury, I believe, that he had during the Rob Font fight, and then he had to resort to takedowns, all that stuff. Marlon Vera versus Sean O'Malley, that's got a story built into it, because there's a reason this is the second fight. Marlon Vera, he TKO'd him in their first fight, and this was before O'Malley was well known, but he was still on the come up. He was on the come for a long time, but he had a couple wins in the UFC. I think this was his first fight where he had dyed hair, so, there was a lot of things. But it was a perennial nerve kick to the leg that Marlon landed, which 1 in 100 chance that happens, but it completely, I believe it re-injured a former injury by Sean O'Malley, and then he capitalizes on it and TKOs him on the ground, or he kept following up with some kicks, and he got him on the ground, and he just goes for some punches, some elbows, and he TKOs him, and that kind of gave Marlon a bit of some star power, and then he lost to Jose Aldo. Then he went on a 5-fight win streak, beating guys like Rob Font, Davey Grant, Frankie Edgar, oh my god, what's his name? Dominic Cruz. I feel like I don't think I'm forgetting anybody else. But then he loses to Corey Sandhagen, which is that was clearly he lost. I know it's that split decision, but like, come on, guys, he lost that. I'm like a big Marlon fan. And then he beat Pedro Munoz, and that one was a lot of people, including me. I'm pretty sure I picked Pedro Munoz to win. I didn't think Marlon was going to win that. It was 3 rounds. Those are normally trickier. But he goes out there, and he looked really good. In my opinion, I think this fight is a lot closer than a lot of people are saying, because you're going to have the very Sean O'Malley haters. Now, I don't really like Sean O'Malley in terms of, like, I don't know, he's not really anywhere in my favorite fighters. I think he's never in boring fights. No one can ever say that. He seems like an okay dude. He gets flashy KOs. Personality-wise, I don't know. He doesn't have one. He seems like he's not authentic with it. But, like, he's good. He's very good. And people are like, oh, yeah, Marlon's going to crush him. He's going to destroy him. And I'm like, no. This fight will be a very close one. Now, initially, I was like, well, I think Sean O'Malley could beat him. But then I started thinking of, he has very close fights when he can't really finish these guys. Like we saw with Peter Yan. Chris Moutinho, that one wasn't close at all, but, like, it was a very close fight. Well, he did get a finish, but it was controversial. And then he just has some others with that. And what is it? Marlon Vera is known for not getting injured, not showing injuries, so you can't really debilitate him with that stuff. Like Corey Sandhagen's piecing him up in over 5 rounds, and he's taking no damage. He's been hit clean several times. He's very good defensively. He's very good at, like, tucking his chin with that. Basically, he's very good. He's a slow starter, though. But in that slow starting point, I think that's when Sean O'Malley really needs to work. So I think he needs to very much capitalize, get those rounds won to have the best chance, because as the fight progresses, I'm just going to say, Sean O'Malley can get finished. He has been stunned. I believe did he get dropped in the Peter Yan fight? He might not have, but he at least got hurt, and he showed it, and it was a very tiring fight. And Marlon Vera has very good cardio. He's a very fast dude. He has a very good gas tank, which he just doesn't slow down. He's like a Terminator, which is just crazy. But I'm going to say an early prediction, subject to change just because I keep flip-flopping. I think Marlon Vera might finish him. I would say 5th round, but I think Sean O'Malley's beating him throughout for most of that fight. Not, like, fully dominating, but he's at least winning enough of it where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm giving that. Because, like, Dominic Cruz was beating him before he got head kick KO'd. But, like, this finishing power that he has, like, Rob Font was winning a lot of those fights because he's outstriking him. He broke striking records on the face of Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera shows no damage. And then you see he lands, like, one strong punch on Rob Font and, like, rearranges the shape of his face. It's crazy. And, while Sean O'Malley, I appreciate the amount of, like, care he takes for his body. Like, he eats healthy, does all this stuff of that. He seems to be taking it healthy. His body is a lot more fragile than others, just his leg injuries. He always has those wraps on. I think Marlon Vera should focus on getting leg kicks. And then I think he also needs to target that body, because if he can slow down Sean O'Malley and tire him out, because he was breathing pretty heavy in the third round of that Chris Moutinho fight. And I mean, to be fair, he broke striking records on Chris Moutinho as well. So he obviously, there's a limit to, you can't really say, like, oh, he's got a bad gas tank. No, he doesn't have a bad gas tank. But he doesn't have an out-of-this-world one. So I think he needs to tire him out and really just kind of wait for it. Because if he tires, because Sean O'Malley has never gone 5 rounds. He's never gone 5 rounds. That Aljo fight was the first fight that was supposed to go 5 rounds, but he finishes in the second. And he was exhausted from that Peter Yan fight. I mean, to be fair, that was a war. But, you know, this fight, I keep kind of rambling about it, but I'm going to say Marlon Vera might win this, because I think he has a mental edge over it at this beginning part of it. But I need to see some footage of it, and I really need to dissect this, because this is kind of not my immediate reaction, but like the day later. But yeah, no, that's the 2 fights that got announced. Obviously, the Volkanovski versus Topuria fight's happening. I already announced that one was true. The Charles Oliveira versus Islam one wasn't. That one might still happen, but not at that venue. And then the Raquel Pennington versus Mayra Bueno Silva one's still happening. So I didn't really need to re-talk about them. But yeah, you know, just more videos to make. All right, bye.